Hi, hello. Today we are talking with Ed Zitron about Allbirds, Anthropic's Mythos, and other AI stories. And then after that, we'll dig into JD Vance's fight with the Pope and Pete Hegseth sharing his favorite film quotes. Hi, hello. Welcome back to Even More News, the first and only news podcast. My name's Katy Stoll.
That's right. That's right. Twice. That's the name of the show. That's what it is. That's how many other news podcasts there are. That's your name. And I'm Cody. Hi.
Everything was accurate so far. Let's see if I get this next part right. We are very thrilled to welcome back a return guest, the host of Better Offline and writer of Where's Your Ed At? It's Ed Zitron.
What's
Ooh.
up?
Hey.
What is up?
What is up?
So many things. We'll talk about them.
The world's
We're
great.
About all the things.
It's going well. It's normal.
Jonathan is also here.
Hi.
So I was waiting for that.
Hey, Ed. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm really enjoying just setting up probably the largest I told you so in history. That's what I'm just been
It's
doing
coming.
the last
It's on
few
the
months.
way.
It's coming.
Every day.
I got like so many of them. I got like a giant Apple Notes full of people's names and links to things they wrote in 2023 that I intend to publish again and again and again when all this stuff explodes.
You've got the receipts.
Oh, I got detailed notes.
Take some time. It takes some time.
Yeah, so that's what I've been focusing on. It's a strange job, but someone's got to do it.
I mean, things do seem to be oddly dire. It seems like things may be happening sooner rather than later, but, you know, we've thought that before. They can let this ride for a long time.
I mean, yeah, they only officially shut down the metaverse like a week ago.
And then they kind of restarted it.
Wait, what?
Tell me more.
Well, they just restarted it. They're just like, Andrew Bosworth, his CTO, was just like, we're going to leave it up for a bit.
I mean, they renamed their company for it. Like, they gotta hold on to that for a while.
Also, the servers can't be that expensive for something used by 8 people.
Exactly. Keep it.
Yeah, what's the overhead on that?
One continual meeting where they all have their legs dangling. The legs exist now, and they're just sitting around the table
What
meeting.
a strange fucking thing that was. They didn't have to say legs were coming.
No, they didn't
No
have
one
to
was
say
clamoring for the legs.
The old man from The Simpsons, I wanted legs.
Hit the legs. Well, you got them.
It's going to be one of those funny things that every so often I'll trot out throughout my life. The legs are coming.
What I like, though, is that the media has just moved on. Just like one of the strangest things to ever happen. $70 billion, where did it go?
Same place the $200 billion is going for what they're doing now.
We built a magic virtual world, and then how are we going to reveal it to everyone? You can have a meeting in it. The most exciting thing you can
also,
imagine.
It's broken. It does not
doesn't
work.
work.
It sucks ass. You need to use a weird helmet that costs a lot of money, which also sucks and is uncomfortable and makes some people sick. We are renaming our company.
I would say Instagram. That would be a good name for the company and what they do now. Instagram.
Or just annoying.
Allbirds made an announcement.
Allbirds was a shoe company that sold shoes and advertised on podcasts. Not this one. Maybe?
No. We did.
Oh, yeah, we did a long time ago.
Back in the
I got
day.
a pair. I got a pair of them.
got a pair.
I wore them earlier today. They're fine shoes. They're good.
Cool.
I like
Well,
them.
it must not have worked very well because that company lost a lot of value over the last few years. Went from $4 billion
Because they stopped advertising with us.
valuation down to, I think, they were bought recently for $39 million, and then that company said that Allbirds is pivoting to AI. Specifically, they are expanding into, quote, AI compute infrastructure with a long-term vision to become a fully integrated GPU as a service and AI native cloud solutions provider. And they're going to be called New Bird AI. And Ed can correct me on this if I'm not saying exactly what they are doing, but I think they're just leasing existing data centers to provide compute capacity for AI companies. Is that it?
From who?
That's the good question.
So are they building them?
Well, here's the thing. The company said, to quote the New York Times, the money will be used, the $50 million, will be used to buy GPUs. Now, the statement does, and they raised a $50 million convertible financing facility to do this. Now, it did not say what the GPUs are, but I will say this. Now, doing the maths, if they're buying NVL 72 racks GPUs, we're looking at about 1,028 GPUs total.
And those are big computer.
Those
you might
are,
have to.
They are
you might
the
have to
AI,
break this
they are
down
the
for-
GPUs behind AI. I
Right.
must also be clear that 1,000 of them are fucking useless.
Do you mean like because AI is useless, or
No, I mean
specifically
literally,
that
like-
number is like that's not
Because here's the
anything.
thing. I'm just talking $50 million, you're looking at like 14 racks of 72 GPUs. You still need somewhere to put them.
Right.
And you need the networking gear and power and all this other stuff. I think this is just fraud. I think that they will just...
financial fraud. You mean basically
I just
saying
don't know. Where is this money going? Who are they? Are they going to buy the GPUs? Where are they placing the GPUs?
Right. Well, then where do they go? And then
This-
for
but this is
what?
the
Like
thing.
for who? What are they? And then other companies will use them for their
But this is the biggest shitheads in this are actually the media. Every single company that put a story out about this is falling for a trap. I'm not talking about podcasts. We can all yuck it up. This is fine. I'm talking about the New York Times, CNBC, everyone being like, "Ooh, how odd. Congratulations, you fell for the trap." Not a single story brought up the fact that what they're going to buy the GPUs, they're going to put them in a data center. What data center? Are they doing co-location? Are they going to build their own? This many GPUs would be about 2 megawatts of capacity, just sweet fuck all.
because they need gigawatts. Like OpenAI has multiple gigawatts.
You need at least like 50 megawatts for it to be anything useful. And every single person writing about this is just falling it. It's fell for it again award every time. They are literally doing stock manipulation.
Yeah, it's like when you mentioned Zuckerberg and the metaverse and stuff, and like, yeah, they fell for it and they did this, and like they're still kind of going, like, there's no incredulity with any of these companies about anything they say.
Well,
It's
part of
very-
it feels like just you right now, Ed, explaining like the questions they should be asking. Nobody knows the questions they need to ask. And that's why none of us fully, I mean, you understand it. You spend your life diving in and fact checking this and cutting through the bullshit. But like most people don't fully get it. It's just you're able to go and then nobody's asking the right questions. The reporting's not good.
Well, that would suggest there was reporting, because when you read the announcement, which I've now pulled up, they've reached a definitive agreement with an institutional investor, left unnamed. Very strange. That's extremely weird. Like, that doesn't... That's strange. Also, it has not closed. The convertible debt facility closes in the second quarter of 2026. It's never going to happen. I guarantee you, it's just never going to happen. They're also planning to do asset sales, it looks like. It's very strange.
And
It's
they're still
all
going to
very
make shoes, right?
No, this is apparently they sold
No.
the
Shoes, I'm
brand.
sorry.
They sold the shoes to another
No
company.
shoes.
They
It's called
said
no
they would
shoes anymore.
still be selling some kind of apparel with Allbirds on it, maybe on their like gift shop.
their
at the
their
data
merch
center.
or whatever. Like,
Weird.
But this
That
is
was
like
absurd.
a meme stock, right? Because
It is. It's
surged.
literally. It should.
Like it's already dropped a bunch. Did they sell it? Did they make the money?
Let's see. Employee share sales. Allbirds.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
already-
I wouldn't be surprised if they probably set up some share sales. I'd have to look into it. I think everyone involved fucking sucks. I think everyone who wrote this up is a mark. I think that they're not going to buy a single GPU, because if you think about it like this, if they close that $50 million facility second quarter, they won't receive those GPUs, which are never arriving, until the end of the year. At this point, Vera Rubin, which is the next kind of GPU, will be out, and that'll be even more expensive, so they're not going to get as many. Then where are they going to put them? Up their arse? I don't... it's
Maybe.
just... I hope so.
shoes.
I fucking hope so.
If there's enough room, I mean,
I hope they fall... it's going to be tough with their heads up there, but...
Sure.
they can manage.
that's what I mean by enough room, you know?
yeah.
But this is also like a sign that, like, I think even relative boosters right now are like, yeah, this is a bubble. We're in a bubble.
It does seem like it's slowly becoming accepted that a lot of this is smoke and mirrors and just sort of like, oh, we're on the hype train. This is what we do. We just got to put out a release, and then the stock goes up, and we can,
God.
yeah.
Almost wish I was evil.
I know.
This feels
can
so
capitalize
easy.
on it.
So easy.
We were joking about it before we started. We're like, should we do this?
Right wing pivot AI. It was like, yeah, we'll buy
Oh no,
some
I've
servers.
been. To be clear, this is a joke. Like, I won't do this, but
To be clear,
I
us as
thought-
well.
I thought for a moment like how fun it would be if I did like a How I Left the Left style thing but with
Yeah,
AI.
yeah.
100%.
Like, the anti-AI critics have gone too far. I've now found how great Claude Code is. They would accept me in 2 seconds. They give me $100 million immediately in cash.
I
They'd
could
be
have
like,
a whole
wow.
welcome.
blog post written in seconds. It's not just that I'm leaving the left. I'm embracing the right.
It's that
It's a real-
It's not just shit. It's crap.
Yeah. When it comes to AI, we had a couple years where it's just like LLMs are everything, the language models, ChatGPT, Claude, and now they're trying to push AI agents, which
Which
like
is just
you upload.
LLMs. It's just LLMs.
Right. It's
Don't let 'em- don't let 'em
repackaged LLM, right?
No, it's
Like-
just LLMs. It's an agent is just an LLM. That's all it is. It might be an LLM that talks to another LLM, by which I mean they're prompting each other. And yes, they hallucinate. And the more they do, the more they hallucinate.
the more it
so
happens.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's literally just LLMs. They want to use the word agents so you think autonomous. They are not autonomous. In fact, they fuck up all the time. And the bigger the job, the more they fuck up. And that's a mathematical certainty. OpenAI themselves put out a study that said hallucinations are a mathematical inevitability. Anyway, this is the most biggest, hugest thing ever. No one can really tell you why, though, or what it does, or why you should care. Just this vapid thing of like, oh yeah, it writes a lot of code. Might be useful for software engineers. But no one can seem to tell me why, to what scale, what that actually means. And no one seems to want to. They just want to keep, like, eating up the slop and going, oh yeah, it's the biggest thing ever. And ooh, look at all the monies. Look at all the monies. These companies lose billions of dollars, but money go up, number go up. Yum, yum.
That's all that
More
matters.
Yeah,
GPU.
so many of the use cases just seem to be like, yeah, it's like this agent will talk to this agent for you and then correct the problems that this agent made. And it's just sort of like eating each other a little bit to create something that somebody might think like, ooh, that's good. Like they're already clearly like, well, the video generation people like getting into Sora, like they're realizing, oh, people hate the slop.
Yeah.
And it's costs a lot of money and power, so we're not really going to lean into that. So they're just trying to find like, well, what can we sell beyond just the idea of the hype around AI or AGI or however they want to sell it.
I do think it's because it costs so much to run that they need to promise more than it can do. The analogy that I've been running through my head, and you can tell me if this is wrong, is that it's like if they invented the dishwasher and they're like, this is pretty cool, it'll wash your dishes. You used to have to do it by hand, but it cost $100,000 just to make. So they would have to pretend that it does a lot more than just wash the dishes.
Microwave,
in
it's your
order to
security
promise it.
system. It does this, this.
Also,
this.
5% of the dishes it won't wash, and you won't know which ones. You won't be able to see that are
And
dirty.
sometimes
some-
the dishes come out in their cups now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
have
like-
extra fingers.
Sometimes they add more dirt.
Yeah, my silverware is a
Yeah.
dog dish. How'd that happen? That's fine.
guess
just-
that's like-
that's the future, baby.
I don't understand it though. Like if you presented a calculator to me and said, this will do any calculation you want, but it'll get a bunch of stuff wrong, and you don't know how often, and you don't know which ones will be wrong, so you have to manually check them all anyway. Isn't that useless?
It's an introspection checker. It's like if you can look at something and say, I understand this, and lie to yourself and be like, I understand this fully, then you are exactly the mark for this. If you truly, if you know things, by which I mean you know sentences about things that you can repeat without understanding them, yeah, this seems like magic to you. If you're an executive that just goes to lunch and answers or ignores emails, this is magical. I read a story, I think it was in the Bloomberg, where it was like, oh yeah, young people, enterprises are hiring young people because they know AI well. And there was a whole thing about how there were people that can't make phone calls and can't write their own emails. And they insist on using AI. And it's like, if I receive an AI-generated email, I'm immediately offended. I can tell.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, you don't give a fuck. You just, you don't think for yourself. And also, I'm terribly afraid of being misled or being wrong. I don't want to be. I care a lot about my knowledge. I don't think many people do. I think people are really happy to just slop shit out and be like, there you go. I also think that there's a cult of personality around this that is genuinely dangerous.
And just like the feeding of like the ego, it's sort of like it's going to compliment you. It's going to tell you every idea you have is amazing. There aren't human beings to be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
actually, which is how things are made and how ideas are teased out and how we know things is by not just saying yes over and over and over again.
It's so dystopian in every capacity. When I think about the implications of it, what it means, why are people drawn to it? There's probably a myriad of reasons. I think you guys have hit the nail on the head on some of it, but it also just speaks to how many people hate their jobs, hate what they do, are just going through the motions. And so they want to automate it, whatever. Okay, so there's that to unpack. But then just the vision that keeps trying to be packaged and sold to me feels so hollow and strange. Yes, because I don't know exactly what it is that we're building to or what it is that it does or what we can expect from it. Sure. But even if you were to take all the warnings and all the things that they're saying, like what it can promise, why do we want that? I'm genuinely having a hard time wrapping my mind around why that is actually good for society. Productivity, you make that argument, okay, except not because you have to correct the mistakes. But then who are we?
But even what you're saying, you still, because they don't provide one, are not saying what it does.
No, I don't know
Like,
what it
it's-
does,
like,
Ed. I
that's
don't know, and that's like what's. But I'm
Which is crazy.
I'm like
That's
maybe
insane.
I need to
Right.
learn.
It's all these like ideas like, oh, it's going to change the world and it's going to get rid of a bunch of jobs and it's also going to make everybody happy and rich somehow, and you have to agree to this. And there's no explanation. Even I saw there's this one interview that fucking Elon did, and he's talking about how, kind of, Katy, to your point, it's like, yeah, well, in the future, like, we're not even gonna have like phones or phone companies or apps. You're just gonna have like, you just have sort of a slab that you hold on to, and you're connected to your AI.
It's going to say
you
you're
just-
extremely based.
Like, basically, no, he said like, yeah, you're gonna pick it up, and it'll just sort of show you what it thinks you want to see, and like that's the future. And he says it as if it's an inevitability. And it's implicitly good.
Right.
Like he never pauses and be like, and I think it's good that we're gonna have that. That's something that sort of feeds you what it assumes you want to see. There's no explanation for why that's a positive thing, because they can't say that. And that's good. We don't want to think anymore. It's absurd.
This whole thing feels a little bit like buy into it, buy into this.
If you don't use it, you're fucked.
If you don't use it, you're going to be left behind. It's like, but you're leaving yourself behind by not using your fucking brain anymore.
Well, I think that's kind of like the big question, is because there's been this broader discussion online of like, is the left doing itself a disservice by being broadly against AI? And I kind of want to like step back and be like, because I'm not against advanced software doing stuff. Like if there's a thing and you're like, oh, this will help organize your spreadsheets and it'll tell you what guest would be good to come on in November because of a thing that's happening. I don't know. There could feasibly be a thing that's there. But what we're being presented with is, no, this is your job now. This is your life now. And it doesn't feel to be able to meet any kind of that expectation. But like, is the left turning people off by just being super kind of impulsively anti-AI?
This is also the thing. It's a very deceptive way of suggesting the left are anti-progress, as the left, I would argue, and the left, whatever the fuck that means,
Right.
can mean
That-
anything they want it to.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, they just go, hey, this doesn't do enough, and it loses all this money, it takes up massive amounts of space, and it steals from everyone, it's environmentally dangerous. Why are we doing this? And the answer is, we're doing it, fucker. We're doing it. Do it with us, or else. And whenever I read someone being like, let's be reasonable here, we're getting LLM centrists now, by the way, and they are actually as annoying as the full AI boosters, because they're like, look, it isn't this big thing, but you can't keep saying this stochastic parrots thing. You have to admit it's doing some stuff. It's like, I don't have to admit fucking anything. And on top of that, even if this thing is writing a bunch of code, why, like, is the code better? Because most software products feel worse, including Anthropic's. Anthropics
Absolutely.
keep breaking. So if it's so good at code, why? Also, I don't want this to happen, but they're not laying off software engineers. It's not like it's replacing them. And everyone I talk to a lot of people in big tech, they're fucking miserable. The deadlines have all been moved up. They're not getting as
I
much
bet.
support, and they're being told, just put in fucking Claude Code. Just take a screenshot of it and say, Claude Code, this is broken. Fix it, Claude Code. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Yeah, it's just, the left doesn't like this. The left doesn't like this because it fucking sucks.
It sucks.
If this thing existed without the environmental problems or the stealing problems or the big data centers, if this was just regular software, which is how we should treat it, we wouldn't have this debate. But because we have a tech and business media that is so heavily captured by corporations and hype cycles, it's impossible to stop them.
They have to frame it like they're inventing God, and you get on board or
You
not.
can't raise billions of dollars by saying, yes, it's a chatbot.
Yeah. Meanwhile, speech to text is so much fucking worse. Like, everything is worse. Search is worse. Like, all of these things that allegedly, purportedly are going to get better have gotten worse. So I don't know.
I keep asking people, when is that going to happen? When are they going? You keep telling me the future's coming. When is it? Where
make
is
it
it?
better.
I swear that autocorrect on my phone has
It's
gotten
worse.
worse.
It's
I
so much
swear.
worse.
Everything is worse.
100%.
But like how?
If you go,
I don't know. Like, how do you do that? Yeah.
My favorite feature is when you're on Google Docs and you make a typo and it puts the squiggly red line and then it goes, yeah, you got a typo here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give you any suggestions. Yeah.
And it's like, why is this happening? And you click a link and it doesn't explain why.
And it's like, it used to work. It used to function exactly as it was supposed to.
Technology is meant to be something that gets better over time, not worse.
Howdy, y'all. As a Montana ranch hand who spends most of her day wrangling horses, I can't so much as muster a can of beans come noontime. Who can plan on a week's worth of nourishment whilst riding, roping, and rustling? Well, thankfully, all that done changed once I discovered Hungry Root. They're my one-stop feed shop for planning a week's worth of fixins, delivering everything to my homestead and not breaking the bank while doing it. Haha. They've got over 50,000 recipes to spare you from posting up hungry at the chuck wagon, and most of them can be compiled in 1/48 of sun time a day. That's 15 minutes for y'all city folk. Plus, they're filtering out more than 200 additives, including high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives. No more of that counterfeit molasses chunking up your sarsaparilla, if you know what I mean. Matter of fact, I bet you're gonna love Hungry Root as much as I do. For a limited time, get 40% off your first order plus a free item in every box for life, long as your subscription's still subscribing. Go to hungryroot.com/SMN and use code SMN. That's hungryroot.com/SMN, code SMN to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. That is, as long as you're keeping those pesos about. You folks take it easy now. Catch you later on down the dusty old trail.
Another big story in this world that we haven't talked about yet on the show is Anthropic's or Claude Mythos preview, which is a new model from Anthropic.
A secret
that
model.
They're giving to companies and like defense contractors to like analyze, but they're not releasing it publicly because I guess it can.
Well, not defense contractors,
Not defense contractors,
just cybersecurity companies and some banks.
cybersecurity, because it can like get through Linux security protocols. Is that what it can do? Or that's what they say?
That's what they're saying, and they're also not saying that. It said that they found a 27-year-old bug in FreeBSD. What they failed to note was that that bug is not exploitable. And indeed, they had to do like 130-something manual reviews. Claude Mythos didn't fix the bugs. It found a bunch of them. They didn't include how many false positives there were, which is a very important detail for something that's meant to be autonomous. And also, they fucking lied in it. There was a whole story that went out saying, oh yeah, Claude Mythos escaped containment. It's not the first time they've done it. It
They say
escaped
that a
containment,
lot, yeah.
and the person in question who was running it was informed that Claude Mythos escaped when it sent them a message. What actually happened was Claude Mythos was in one server, the model was here in one server, and then the environment it was using was a totally separate one, which it then cracked, and then sent a message, and it did all of this after being explicitly instructed to. They also do not say how many times it took to do this.
They do that a lot, which is claim like, you know, yeah, like, oh my God, it became sentient, or like it started asking me questions, or it did this, and you look into it and it is exactly what you said, where it's like, no, you told it to do that.
Right.
You literally typed the prompt, do this, and you can be pleased that it accomplished the task, but to frame it like it just had a mind of its own and decided to do that is so absurd. And it always like turns me off of anything, because like you can be excited about, oh, it's capable of doing this, it's capable of doing this, but as soon as you're lying about that, I'm like, oh, then I don't believe you. You're full of shit. Why would...
It's not even the first time they've done it. They did it with an older model where they claimed it blackmailed someone. And then
I remember that.
And in very small words,
Yes.
it said, very small letters, it said, and it was prompted to do so.
Yeah. It's
like
told it to try to do that.
And it was explicitly trained. It was explicitly trained to do this. Like, the training was specific to get this outcome, which was not autonomous. This shouldn't be legal. Like, that's...
And it's
that's
like, well,
the
it's
thing.
also, it's useful to know, like, if somebody got a hold of this and told this model to do this, it can do it. But to frame it like, wow, we gave it access to these emails and it fucking blackmailed the CEO. Yeah, because you told it to.
Yeah,
And it's good to know that it can do that if you tell it to do that. But, like, that's not the same thing.
Couldn't we train these publicly released products not to blackmail? Like, wouldn't
Just
that be a
say don't
thing?
do
It
it.
feels like
But they
basic.
can't, though. They can't.
It's not even the second time someone's done it, because when GPT-4 came out, good work Casey Newton and Kevin Roos of the New York Times on this one, they claimed that it blackmailed a TaskRabbit, when actually what was happening was that they were literally prompting the model, being like, what would you say here to the TaskRabbit to make them do this? What would you say? And then they're like, yeah, it was theoretical anyway. This got reported by the Times, and Casey Newton, and I quote, said, shut it off. And that's exactly how he said it. And the thing is, I'm not trying to bag on one person other than the fact that he's been an arsehole to me. It's the way to stop things like this is to have responsible members of the media to stop them. And we just don't have that. We have people that are actively captured. You have multiple outlets that are pro-AI. And I'm fine with not being pro or anti. If you want to actually be objective, fine. But when the objectivity is, I will repeat whatever they say and not involve any
not
kind of
objective.
criticism. It
It's
isn't
just
objective at all.
stenographers. It's like just whenever, like, yeah, Cop Union like releases a statement, like, look what happened. They're just doing that for the entire industry.
And the Times, so that guy who threw a Molotov cocktail at Sam Altman's house, he was inspired by Eliezer Yudkowsky from oh God, what's the book called? It's like, if they build it, everyone. If they build it, I'll kill myself. I don't remember.
If anyone builds it, everyone dies.
So not Ronan Farrow's piece, like they're claiming.
No, that was, and the whole that's just an attempt to chill criticism. No, the guy was inspired by AI Doomer porn. This book about AI Doomer. Sam Altman in 2023 said that Eliezer Yudkowsky might get the Nobel Peace Prize one day. So yeah, the dangerous rhetoric here comes from Sam Altman.
Comes from them.
Darianabay.
That is what
They say it all the time.
Wild also about the framing of this as like, oh, anti-AI people are now escalating this into attacks on our lives and etc. First off, I am not. Don't.
Oh yeah, let's be
bomb
clear.
people.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not.
I've said this a
supportive
lot.
of that. But let's be clear about who is creating the doomer narrative. Let's be clear about why this is in our faces and it's being used as the excuse for letting go of people, not the engineers as you've just articulated, but other people. And there's a lot of tension and a lot of fear, and you are stoking it. So what do you expect in this
They
climate
say it all the time.
to
They say it's the
happen?
end of the world.
Again,
all the time.
don't
They
throw a
say-
Molotov cocktail, people.
Yeah, but it's like if you go on TV and constantly say, I'm scared of the things I'm creating, if you mislead people into believing that these models are somehow sentient and have their own means, if you are saying, I need data centers for these things, and by the way, my biggest thing is 50% of white collar labor jobs are going away. Yeah, unstable people are scared. harder time getting credit or a mortgage or even a job these days. Everyone's fucking tortured. But then you go on TV and you look and everyone's saying AI. Anything AI people ask for, they're humored like a gifted child. If they need more space, they can get more space. They need more money, they can get more money. And yeah, these people are saying, yeah, I'm going to take your job. I'm looking forward to taking your job. I will own a sentient creature, which I will then trap and make work for me, which is also known as slavery. Yeah, that's my plan. I'm doing that. I'm taking your job. I'm very scared of the thing I'm creating, but also that I own, and I have more money than you. Yeah, an unstable person could easily take that as a threat.
Yeah, and then they'll always add like every once in a while, but eventually, universal high income for everybody, and no one will have to work.
How?
Like, okay,
From who?
How does that work?
Explain that process.
And if their argument is going to be, oh, we'll pay it. No, I don't think you will.
Prove it now. Try it now. To like, your behavior has not indicated that you will allow that to happen. So why would we believe you now?
The hype train can just keep going on forever. Eventually, they'll run out of money, and people won't be paying them enough money, and then they'll get new investments, and it keeps going forever.
And then it keeps going forever. The good news is that it will never stop, and it goes on forever. Excellent.
So I was being facetious about this being able to go on forever. Eventually, unless OpenAI raises its prices for ChatGPT to $200 a month or something, and people pay it, they're going to need more investment at some point, more billions. At a certain point, the investors are going to say, okay, I think Reuters reported that 1.6 trillion has been put into this industry since 2013.
Yep. So here's the
wild.
funny
How are they
thing.
going to make that back?
Right now, Anthropic is like they're having serious stability issues. The models are dumber. What's great is they've also, to explain, it used to be on an Anthropic $200 a month Claude subscription. So when you use an AI subscription, you're connecting to a model or a series of models, and it burns something called tokens. There's input tokens, so the stuff you feed in, output tokens, the stuff it spits out. Now, to make things slightly more complex, but it's not too bad, it does this thing called chain of thought reasoning on a lot of the models, which just means if I say, write me a workout plan, it will take that prompt and then say, okay, what are the things I would do in a workout plan? How about nutrition? How about this? Every time it generates that plan, it uses output tokens. Output tokens are also more expensive. On a subscription to like Claude, you used to be able to spend $2,500 to $5,000 worth of tokens on the $200 a month plan. They have since cut the rate limits down. They're still letting you spend way more, but not as much. But they've cut down those rate limits a ton.
They're going to keep doing that.
And they have to keep doing it because it's the only way to make the company anything approaching profitable, which I don't even think is possible. People are acting like they're being stung to death by bees. They are freaking like, what the fuck? What are you doing? I'm going to use OpenAI. Now OpenAI is changing their rate limits. So, and it's funny, I predicted this over a year ago and people were like, you fucking idiot. They're never going to do that. Why would they ever?
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
Why
wouldn't they do that? That's how this works. That's how everything works.
They're going to keep trading $15 for $1 forever. And what's funny is they've also said things will come down, prices are coming down, it's coming down, it will be fine. They're not coming down, they're getting more expensive. The models use more tokens now. The models are getting dumber somehow with new releases. And Anthropic's website is just constantly going down. And people are like, well, they'll fix it. When?
Yeah, more expensive and dumber and worse. If it continues to do that.
Is the idea that like, oh, TV's got a lot cheaper over time. All these miles of data centers are going to get cheaper over time. Is that what they think?
They think, but
well, that's what
really.
That's the excuse or the line of thinking they can give, I guess. But that's not how this works. That's how TVs worked eventually, I guess. So I know TVs are cheaper. I still think they're expensive. But
the way that TVs get cheaper is the components inside the television get cheaper. The cost of running a TV show on your TV is negligible. The cost of running any AI service seems to only increase. I had a person at Microsoft tell me that one of the smaller reasoning models, O4 Mini, I believe it's called, if you had a particularly bad coding problem, it could take up 12 GPUs. Just 12 of the fuckers burning at full speed. And it's really strange because when you talk to AI boosters, they mostly use the classic philosophical argument of nah.
hard to argue with that, huh?
That works for a while.
It terrifies me, the implications of, yes, everybody going all in. And it also terrifies me what happens when this busts. What happens to all the infrastructure, all the lives, all the disruption that's happened. What happens when there's no returns? I don't know. It's
all these, I mean, even all the data centers are going up. Like, well,
I think
a lot
it
of
is
those
the
aren't going to be used anymore.
laser tag arenas.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
this is-
I think we're going to see the end of venture capital as we know it, because, which is probably for the best. We're going to see a destruction of high-end venture capital because it's not just OpenAI and Anthropic dying. It's when they die, because every AI startup, every single startup you've ever used that connects to AI is unprofitable. Every single one, without exception. Perplexity, Cursor, all of them, all unprofitable. And they're unprofitable because it costs so much to run the models. When those companies are also dependent on the same venture capital that OpenAI and Anthropic are, is a limited pool of money. When they start running out of money, they die. And then they can't feed that money to OpenAI and Anthropic, so OpenAI and Anthropic's revenue drops. This in turn creates a vicious cycle where everything kind of falls apart. The thing is, at some point, venture capitalists are going to side with me. They're going to just be like, fuck. And when they pull away, that's when stuff collapses. Those data centers, my biggest worry, the reason I'm doing the haters guide to private equity, which I think will be out when this runs, private credit even, is because private credit is sinking, I think, over 100, maybe $200 billion into AI infrastructure, and private credit is funded principally by insurance and retirement funds, state pension funds, CalPERS, Arizona's, Ohio's, some health insurance companies as well. Private credit is funded by insurance, and the thing is, it's not just that money going away. If those debts are not paid, that means that there is no yield to give to insurers so that they can pay their premiums. The problem is that private credit is pretty much the main source of yield for a lot of retirement and insurance funds. So this isn't just, wow, we'll lose the money now. This is where the growth is coming from. So it's extremely bad, and there is no bailout that can fix it, unless the government becomes more socialist than you could possibly imagine. I don't mean because a bailout isn't what's good, because they would just be feeding the money to the funds that would feed into retirement funds. I don't think that's going to happen either, because we actually don't know how big the private credit problem is. We have no idea. It may be $2 trillion, it may be $4 trillion, it may be $5 trillion, it may be $6 trillion. Of the $6 trillion in insurance and annuity company funds, $1 trillion of it is private credit. There is a systemic weakness here. And AI, all of that money being sunk into data centers is being sold to investors as stable yield from infrastructure projects. Is a question. How the fuck do those data centers pay their loans if their clients are unprofitable AI startups? How do they keep doing that? And the two largest sources of compute demand are OpenAI and Anthropic, who burn billions of dollars and will run out of money. No, when I mention this to AI boosters, they talk. I feel like I'm going crazy because they're just like, they'll work it out. There's a super cycle. There's huge demand for AI. Other note as well is Anthropic running out of compute capacity, and everyone's like, wow, it just proves they have tons of demand. No, it doesn't. Because if they had tons of demand and it was a capacity crunch, they'd have to stop accepting money. They'd have to stop taking people. They're not. They're just making the service worse. So what's actually happening is they don't have the capacity to serve their current customers, and they're saying, fuck them. And so eventually this all falls apart. It's just a big fucking con built on
I'm
software
asking
that doesn't do anything.
Gemini that question that you posed a second ago. I'll figure
We'll figure it out.
shortly.
Is it helpful? Is it helping?
Yeah, grab the officer's service revolver.
I mean, this is all terrifying, and you've got so much information about all the things.
Yes,
that
I'm sorry, I'm just
people
rattling
are
shit off.
No, it's okay. I'm just gonna have nightmares for the next week. Vitally important. But I mean, all of my stuff, like all of this, the little things that I'd gathered in my head to talk to you about seem so inconsequential when you lay out the big picture things. You know, like in Tahoe, people are about to lose energy because they're like within a year. the electricity provider is cutting off Tahoe because they're building a data center nearby, and no one's saying how is Tahoe going to get energy. Like, I'm sure they'll work it out.
AI, whatever
just all this-
model,
and then you
people
could-
figure it
Why
out.
would people be angry about the AI companies? I just don't know. It must be
I
the
don't
Ronan
understand.
Farrow
Why
article.
could we? But they're like, well, but this is more important. These robots, not robots, these machines, this AI, robots, software is more important and more valuable than the actual human lives that live in this area when it comes down to it. And then you lay out all of this shit.
I mean, that's what all the venture capitalists think generally too. Like that's what they value more. They don't really value humans beyond like abstractly in their like simulation that they think they're a part of. And so they're just gonna keep pumping it until they become the gods that they wish they were.
Well, the good news is the people that lose the money are going to be huge fucking assholes.
That is good news. Except that a lot of people that are not huge fucking assholes, but I agree. But there's just so many people whose, their retirement is in some broad portfolio and whatever, and all of this stuff, the downstream effects on just people trying the rest to live their lives and play the game that everybody has said, play this game and that's how you'll have financial freedom in your old age, whatever.
What about like David Sachs? You care about his feelings? Mark Andreessen has feelings too. These guys have feelings.
And who's going to tell Sam Altman why his kid stopped throwing pizza on the
He'll
floor?
never know. He never answered that question, did he? He just
Well, yeah, what did ChatGPT say to
why
that?
did the kids stop throwing
Why did he
pizza
Also,
on the
stop?
we
floor?
just seems to have brushed right past collectively as a society that 2 weeks ago or something. I mean, this has been going on for a while, but apparently Sam Altman's sister is suing him for sexual abuse throughout her childhood. And we just moved past that. And I'm bringing that up. Well, first off, what a horrifying story. What a monstrous person. But these are the people that are shaping our future. These are the people that say, trust me, trust me. Why should I trust you at all? I mean, in general, why would we trust any of these powerful people? But you specifically, it's bananas to me that we are in this reality. And, but yes, okay. Take away my energy, please. Just take away my power so that you can,
So that you can generate sexier Garfields.
Yeah, exactly. Make all the things.
That's
worse.
the only AI image I've ever generated.
Sexy
Garfield.
Garfield.
That's all you
Garfield with
need.
huge cans.
Why
I
would
don't
you do
think-
anything after that?
I mean,
Can I
what
see
a,
it?
Alexander wept for there were no more Garfields to generate.
I don't think we've yet reached peak sexy Garfield, though. I feel like we can keep fine-tuning the
improving.
algorithm
What the
to get
G
sexier
in
and
AGI
sexier.
means.
The last thing I'll say is most people I know that are starting to some people have experimented with AI, have learned about it. I know a lot of people being shipped to conferences about the future of AI in HR or whatever their field is and trying to adopt it. But in general, what I've seen, not me, I don't have a client or whatever agent. I'll see two people use it essentially like Google and ask the same question and get wildly different answers. So at just a basic level, I don't understand.
Yeah, if they want to replace like search with this much worse version that like does random things and hallucinates or whatever and all the bullshit, at least make the normal search work. Like it would be like, can you not have like the basic version be fine and like preserve that and do all your horse shit elsewhere? But no, they can't.
Thank you so much for taking time to chat with us. I was hoping to feel better at the end of this conversation than I do right now,
Sorry.
but the truth
At
will
least
set
you
you
feel
free.
more clear.
Feel more clear in my
Exactly.
panic. I'm gonna go tell everybody I know.
If you can't have comfort, you can have clarity. That's
Yeah.
okay.
I
Sure.
live in cash for a reason.
Ed, where can people find you and support your work?
Where's your ed.at and betteroffline.com. Please subscribe to my premium newsletter as my principal form of income now. So, like, please do that. That would be great. But yeah, subscribe to the podcast, Better Offline. It's awesome. I'm doing a great monologue that should be out by the time this runs about the Samwell and Molotov situation. Got the Haters Guide to Private Credit tomorrow. Actually, when the day that this runs, $7 a month, 70 a year. It's going to be a fucking banger. I write like 15,000 words a week, if not more. So hell of value. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, thanks
we'll
for coming
love to
on
have you
again.
back sometime.
Have you ever wanted to make your own bread at home, but you can't find a spot in your kitchen to add a state-of-the-art proving drawer like they've got on the Great British Baking Show? As an American, I don't even know what that is. But I know I need it if I want to have good bread. At least, that is, until I found out about Wild Grain, the first bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. They use a slow fermentation process that's rich in nutrients and antioxidants. Plus, everything bakes in 25 minutes or less with no thawing required. Is that a showstopper enough for you, Paul Hollywood? If that's even your real name. Their boxes are also fully customizable. A protein box, a vegan box, and a gluten-free box, which personally is my bread and butter. Or rather, I guess it's my bread. You have to buy the butter separately, but they have that too. Seriously, folks, I'm gonna go off script for a second here. I've been gluten-free for a while, and it is such a struggle to find good quality baked goods. Not anymore. It's so exciting for me. This is like a total game changer. And their pasta is also excellent, and it will have you saying buonissimo with each bite, or whatever it is that they say in England. Proper scrummy. Okay. With Wild Grain, imagine having fresh bakery quality bread, pastries, and pasta at home without any trips to the store. And don't just take my word for it. They have over 40,000 5-star reviews and have been voted the best food subscription box by USA Today for 3 years in a row. For a limited time, Wild Grain is offering our listeners $30 off your first box plus free croissants for life of your subscription when you go to wildgrain.com/more news to start your subscription today. That's $30 off your first box and free croissants for life of your subscription when you visit wildgrain.com/more news, or you can use promo code more news at checkout. Now watch as I enjoy this freshly baked loaf of sourdough that has made my house smell fantastic. Let's see, folks. It's so good. It's proper scrummy. That's got a good crumb, as Paula Hollywood would say. Oh yeah, you knocked it out of the park, Wild Grain. This is so good. I'm happy.
The first news we're going to talk about has to do with our guy.
Which one?
Our least likable.
Is
The
it-
current JD. We're going to talk about JD Vance.
We're in like day 5 or 6 of Pope versus U.S. government gate.
I should have predicted this when we made our predictions.
Oh, I know. Yeah, just like an extended feud where every ally of the president's has to come out and be like, well, I feel like the Pope needs to understand God.
Even obvious fake fraud Catholic JD Vance, who's pretending to be Catholic.
Careful when talking about theology.
You don't have to be careful when you talk about childless cat ladies, but you do have to be careful when you're the Pope and you've spent your entire life working to be the Pope.
You don't have to be careful with your words when you're alleging that certain residents of a town are eating pets. You don't have to be careful with your words then.
Ooh, yeah, of course not.
Anyway, so the Pope, as he tends to do, tweets like, war, don't do war. Everyone needs to not do war. He doesn't, he's not like lambasting the Trump administration.
The United States
really.
of America.
Yeah. It's hard to avoid because of the war that they just started. But anyway, he tweeted, the Pope did, God does not bless any conflict. Anyone who is a disciple of Christ, the Prince of Peace, is never on the side of those who once wielded the sword and today drop bombs. Yeah. So
Pretty good message.
JD Vance thinks the Pope is wrong about that. And at a Turning Point USA event, which was attended by people,
Canceled. Erica Kirk had to cancel.
Erica
Erica Kirk had to cancel.
I-
She felt
sorry, look,
unsafe.
So Erica Kirk had to cancel due to security concerns. So instead, they got the vice president.
No, the
Because
vice
she
president.
didn't actually cancel.
He was already
going
gonna do it?
He was already going to be there. He was going to be in conversation with her. Her team, they say, got like word of some security thing, and they said, "Well, she can't go now." And so the vice president's like, "I'll just talk to some other guy there." 'Cause
I'm
it's fine
sorry,
for me to be-
gentlemen.
'Cause it's okay
According
for-
to Candace
so stupid.
Owens, and I didn't listen. This is just I've osmosis this information. According to Candace Owens, that's bullshit. She didn't go because ticket sales were so low.
I mean, that I would believe. But Candace Owens, I'm pretty sure doesn't believe in like dinosaurs or like the moon or something. So
She believes the dinosaurs are here now.
None of these are sentences I
Oh,
want to be
God.
talking about. I'm just saying, to your point, Erica Kirk didn't feel safe, but okay, the vice president. Of the
yeah,
United
it's
States,
so silly.
It's
and funny.
ridiculous. So that's funny. Yeah, it's a 8,500 seat arena. Maybe 2,000 people were there. It was less than a quarter full.
It didn't look great.
It didn't look
look great. But
And so the vice president is talking with, I'm sorry, some guy, I don't know who. He's asked about the Pope, and he can't just say like, "Oh, the Pope's the Pope. Of course the Pope wants peace. Who wouldn't want peace?" And then move on. He has to defend his boss. Do we want to watch his?
Sure.
I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology. And I think that one of these issues here is that there has been...
Sorry, stop. Sorry, pause. We're pausing. So
There's a heckler as well. That's also good.
there's a heckler as well, which complicates things. JD, he is careful about it. He's the Pope. It's like this bizarre world where, first of all, JD has apparently appointed himself like arbiter of everybody's behavior. It's not his role or job, and he like again is like a 1-year senator, and now he's like, I actually should be in charge of telling everybody how to act. I'm going to tell people to say thank you and how they should dress up and how the Pope should talk. It's absurd, but it's like he thinks that like the Pope was
Gives a
chosen
shit what he
via
says.
like lottery. Like, no, he's actually quite studied in theology and knows what he's talking about because he became the fucking Pope. It's not like a random guy. It's somebody who wanted to be the Pope probably and has like spent his life like studying this specific thing. We're going to continue, but I just like...
Well, I just want to say, I want to piggyback off of that because it blows my mind. Look, I'm not religious. I'm not Catholic, but I actually do feel offended to a degree about this. The audacity of this rube who just found God, so to speak.
This fake fucking Catholic piece of shit.
fake
Fucking
Catholic
asshole.
He's
Like, what
out
the fuck?
here saying, I would tell the Pope to be careful when talking about theology. The fuck?
It's dumber than dog shit,
it's
asshole.
beyond...
Just
it's
like...
beyond offensive. Anyway.
That's why it's like it's easy for us to say. It's like, yeah, as the Pope, you can ignore him. If you are the thing JD Vance is, if you are like
You're not supposed to ignore the Pope.
a Catholic, right? That's the Pope you're talking about.
It's just so condescending.
All right, he's gonna yell at this heckler and then keep going.
Is again, hey, random dude screaming, I told you I'd respond to your point. I just want to respond to this question first. But I think one of the issues here is that if you're going to opine on matters of theology, you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure it's anchored in the truth.
This weird, like, stay out of politics. He's just saying war is bad, first of all. He's saying peace is good, and blessed be the peacemakers, and all that jazz. You talk about religion all the time. You try to bring religion into the political conversation constantly. Your boss father is likening himself to Jesus Christ on the regular. So the idea that, like, if you're gonna, like, be the Pope, don't get into politics. Fucking shut up, JD. You do this all the time. You're so happy you get to feud with the Pope right now.
But he brought up, and Mike Johnson separately brought up this thing, just war theory or just war doctrine, which is basically like, well, in theology, it's well established in Christian theology that there are certain reasons where you might have to go to war if you're defending against aggression and you're preserving a longer lasting peace and it's a last resort and you don't hurt civilians and all the things you would expect people to say, like,
just
when a
the
war
phrase,
is okay.
like, even colloquially, a just war, you'd probably like this.
It's not like in the Bible. It's like St.
No.
Thomas Aquinas wrote about it, kind of thing.
It's St. Augustine, I believe.
Yeah, it goes
specifically
back the
which,
idea, yeah.
Yeah, so Mike Johnson's bringing this up, and JD Vance is bringing this up because they know it's a term that they can use. They know, like, well, there's just wars. But as we've talked about many times on this show, you didn't even bother justifying this war right now.
This isn't even supposed to be a war?
It's not supposed to be a war. It's combat operations, and then it is a war, but it's not, and you're doing regime change, but you're not, and they need to disarm, but you're not.
It's the just excursion doctrine.
Yeah, you bombed a school of 160, 170 young girls the first day. So I just, like, I'm begging, like, anybody who actually gets to talk to these people in person when they're saying, like, have you heard of the just war doctrine? Have you? Explain it. Use it to justify this war that you fucking started. If you go down the sort of the list of ideas, like, well, it would have to be this, it'd have to be this. None of them apply. Competence is actually a part of it too. And as we've seen, they are not displaying that. But specifically, I wanted to point out, just this doctrine was invented by St. Augustine. Pope Leo was an Augustinian friar for 12 years. He, like, of all the things to be like, Pope, have you ever heard of the just war doctrine? Yeah, he studied for decades. Like, this specific thing that you're trying to fight the Pope about is something that he has studied for decades. In order to be the Pope, JD, you learned about Catholicism a year and a half ago or something. I don't even know what I'm fucking talking about, and I know more. Like,
But obviously, this is all bullshit and him just saying things to have a response. Because, yeah, the whole point of people being, well, there's so many reasons why people are upset, but there is literally no justification being given. They've trotted out lots of different theories of ideas and tested the waters with different excuses and rationale. None of it makes the muster. None of it makes the cut. And we still don't really fully understand it.
I mean, we know it's the oil.
We know.
And
it's the oil. It's
all the things, whatever. But, like, they haven't justified it in any way. Everything they're doing is horrible, and they can't justify it. And so to cite this thing, it's like, explain yourself. Give an example of how this is a just war based off of this doctrine that you're citing.
Do you guys want to have me read his new book that's coming out in June, Communion, Finding My Way Back to Faith?
I'd
No.
love
The
to.
JD Vance.
We should do, maybe we
Yeah.
should all read it and do a series of episodes just about book club for that.
I bet
About
it mentions
about the
Trump like twice. Tied into all this is Pete Hegseth, also a religious guy, who was giving a prayer sermon at the Pentagon, and he was like, I'm going to read a prayer that was given to me by the head of the search and rescue operation that brought back those pilots. And he suggested that it was going to be a reworking of an existing Bible verse. He says this is meant to reflect Ezekiel 25:17, and if you are a 43-year-old white man, that Bible verse triggers something in your head. The film Pulp Fiction, because Ezekiel 25:17 is the verse that Samuel L. Jackson's character says before he kills a guy in Pulp Fiction. Spoilers alert for the beginning of Pulp Fiction. But before we play it, Ezekiel 25:17 just says, "And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am the Lord when I shall lay my vengeance upon them." The verse that Hegseth reads is the considerably longer Tarantino created verse.
Yeah, and to be clear, I do think it's important to mention that this is very stupid and
Yeah,
not
it's
good.
so
But
dumb.
some people are framing it like, oh wow, Pete Hegseth thinks this is from the Bible. He doesn't think it's literally from the Bible. He prefaces it saying it's like an interpretation of, or like a version of this.
He says it's.
But I think he thinks
He says
that
it's from
he thinks
something.
that this is a version of a prayer that is from the Bible.
I think he thinks the full quote is from the Bible, and the word "righteous man" is changed to "downed aviator" to sound like the
so he thinks
situation that
it's-
happened.
He thinks it's slightly different.
He thinks it's slightly different instead of from the film Pulp Fiction.
from the film Pulp Fiction, right? So,
But maybe not. I don't
it's
know.
unclear a little bit if he thinks it. But I just wanted to say, it's stupid and bad either way.
So the prayer is CSAR 25:17, and it reads, and pray with me, please. The path of the downed aviator is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to capture and destroy my brother. And you will know my call sign is Sandy 1 when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Bang,
Samuel
bang, bang.
did it so much better.
Much
Well,
better.
a professional actor, Academy Award nominated.
Well, he's Hegseth's a TV personality.
That's true. This is really,
it's
really.
just is really silly.
It's silly, but it is. We joke about it. We talked about it, and I was gonna make this point before this even happened. But their view of so many things are so skewed and bizarre and based on their like films that they misunderstand. Like, it's very clear, like, okay, so you get a lot of your like religious ideas from like Nazi rhetoric and like movies and stuff. And it's actually, that's a fucked up prayer to have everybody join in saying. It's like, so you get all your Hegseth, you get all your religious opinions from like fucking movies and the righteousness of this, and you get all your like your viewpoint of the military from like Full Metal Jacket, but in like a positive light, like, oh, that's awesome, I fucking love how cool it is to like, it's just it's dangerous to have these guys be in charge and trying to reshape how these things are. JD Vance is actively trying to reshape what like religion is and what it is, can be used as and for justification for things, and it's just really, really gross. As somebody who's not religious at all, this is still really, really gross and dangerous, and I don't care for these people.
It'd be funny if the entire Trump administration just kind of went into Pulp Fiction dialogue, like without really knowing it. Trump,
I'd like that.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? Royale with cheese, they call it.
That's what
It's a Royale. I'm the Royale with cheese. I like McDonald's.
And then I looked, I said, I just shot him in the fucking head.
Not all the dialogue.
Yeah, maybe not all.
He would actually love to quote that. What else we got before we
I don't know, is there
sign
anything
off
good?
today?
Yeah,
Jonathan, you have some good news for us.
Well, we'll do some quick hits with good news. I've got a few news stories. First of all, who knows, because it's just Trump saying it, but apparently Israel and Lebanon will start a 10-day ceasefire on Thursday night, and then Netanyahu and the president of Lebanon, Joseph Aoun, will meet at the White House for talks.
I mean, have they even really ever honored the ceasefire in Gaza?
I mean, right. Like, I don't even want to say, like, oh, good, we're done here, but because it's, like, still dire. But that could potentially be good news and give
I
Trump
sure
the
hope
cover
so.
he needs to stop all of
Yep.
this. I also have that the House, 10 Republicans joined Democrats in voting to pass a 3-year extension of temporary protected status for the 350,000 Haitians living in the U.S. So
That's some genuinely good news.
That is,
Yeah.
that is
Wonderful.
good.
it seems like if
that's
they were
surprising,
doing
actually.
the thing that Vance and Trump said they were, that this is not what they would do. But
Maybe this is a little piece of evidence that maybe they were lying. Maybe
Maybe.
it's not true. Maybe it's a Nazi
Maybe.
lie that they pushed.
Maybe we already know that.
But that's genuinely good.
That is
That's
generally good news.
genuinely good.
And it appears Trump has nominated Dr. Erica Schwartz, a former deputy surgeon general, or to be the CDC director. She was part of Trump's first term. She was a deputy U.S. surgeon general, but she appears to be like a normal public health official.
Okay.
Like I like seems
More
like
normal than one would
vaccines.
expect in
What a
term
relief.
2.
The other
Yeah.
guy is he's got his new podcast, and maybe the guy said dark meat, but it seems like the first guest on his podcast was encouraging people to eat dog meat or whatever he's got going on. He's cutting off raccoon penises.
Somebody asked him about it in the hallway. He walked away, didn't answer. He was asked, "Sir,
About
what did you
raccoon
do
penis?
with the raccoon penis?" Was the question.
Oh, also, I just saw this. The Secret Service has determined no credible threats to the UGA rally after Erica Kirk's cancellation.
So,
the U.S. Secret
circum-
Service is releasing statements saying that Erica Kirk is full of shit.
By the way,
circling
this,
back around to Candace Owens. Whatever. You know what? We did it, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we talked
did.
a lot about AI, and we talked a little bit about this.
about JD and AI. And
Hey,
Cotton Eye JD.
like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and listening.
Thanks for watching and
Thanks
listening.
for being here.
Thanks for being here. We
Gotta go.
very much. No, we love you very much.
We gotta very much. We gotta very much love.